invited the NYPD to maintain a presence here right through May 17th, which, of course, includes graduation May 15th. After a night where nearly 100 were arrested, but pro-Palestine student organizers saying they would do it all again if they had to.
We are honored to join the mass movement of students, workers, and comrades across the world in the fight for Palestinian liberation. This message comes to you from here, the People's University for a Liberated Palestine.
The NYPD getting into a second-floor window of the barricaded academic building Hamilton Hall, using flashbangs, we're told, no tear gas, and no injuries. Glenn Shuck, 1010 wins, 92.3 FM. Back here at Columbia.
And the protest encampment at CCNY is also over. Police moved in and made arrests there last night.
The City College campus is quiet. The gates locked. The president says he supports the right to free speech, the right to protest peacefully. But after acts of violence and vandalism, he requested that the NYPD clear out the pro-Palestinian encampment.
This is the New York City Police Department. You have been warned as per City College to leave the campus. If you refuse to leave, you may be placed under arrest.
Police arrested dozens who would not disperse. That audio from the NYPD. The college president says outside parties infiltrated the protest. There were clashes with public safety. Administrative offices were ransacked. CCNY has gone remote. The word is do not come to campus. Sean Adams, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Harlem.
And riot police were also on campus out at UCLA, where clashes between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli demonstrators turned violent. Mayor Adams on NBC earlier this morning says the husband of one of the protesters at Columbia has been ID'd as a convicted terrorist. Mayor says we need to prevent students from being exploited.
It's more than just Columbia. It's more than what we saw at City College. This needs to be a clarion call for our country. These are our children, and we can't allow them to be radicalized like children are being radicalized across the globe.
Wins News Time 8:45. 2 suspects have been arrested in connection to some of those robberies in Central Park we've been telling you about. 35-year-old Kevin Taylor from the Bronx facing robbery, assault, and harassment charges for allegedly robbing and attacking a 28-year-old woman last Thursday. He's got 9 priors and had been on parole. 42-year-old Fontaine Moise faces grand larceny charges for allegedly grabbing a tourist phone and throwing it into a pond. NYPD Chief of Department Jeffrey Maudry says the NYPD is ramping up those patrols.
What does the NYPD do? We do what we do best when we see increases in crime. We deploy more resources, we work with the community, and this is how we're going to increase public safety. And this is why we want to bring this message to the community today, because we need your help in increasing public safety.
And police are looking for at least 3 other suspects. St. John's University has closed its Staten Island campus after classes ended yesterday. The 16.5-acre property is now up for sale. We spoke with Dina Bruno, who is a St. John's alum.
I think that it's very sad. It's definitely the end of an era, but I'm not surprised at all, just because towards the end of when I went to school there, it seemed like they were really pushing for attendance at other campuses versus the Staten Island campus.
The students and faculty will now be moved to its Queens campus. St. John's opened that Staten Island location in 1971. Former Congressman George Santos kept his promise. Got all dressed up for his new cameos.
Katara is back.
Hey, Club Condo. It's your favorite, Katara. After 18 years in the closet, George Santos pulled me back out.
Ousted Congressman George Santos says he's bringing back his drag queen persona with a series of videos you can purchase on the site Cameo. Each customized video costs $350 if you want one.
I have an advice for you. How about put some wigs on, get some boas, and go have real fun. But y'all gotta stop being boring.
Santos claims 20% of the proceeds will go to 2 charities, including Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Santos still faces prison time after being charged with fraud. Sophia Hall, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
$350. I hope I get to hear him singing some Taylor Swift. And the Biden administration is taking steps to reclassify cannabis as a lower-risk drug.
The organization Students for a Sensible Drug Policy saying, make no mistake, Schedule 3 is not legalization and it is not decriminalization. Although President Biden opposes federal legalization for recreational use, easing marijuana-related punishments has been a cornerstone of his agenda, saying this in his State of the Union this year.
Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or having on their record.
Several government organizations need to review the change and then hold a public comment period, a process that could take several months.
That's Andrew Dimbert reporting. Hey, you ever dreamt about wearing a massive baseball on your head? Well, the Mets are looking for a new Mr. Met. Yeah, there's a job opening. And the listing states the person must be high energy, an enthusiastic individual, check, check. Must perform physically demanding activities, check, I can do that. A dance and performing arts background is a plus. I can kind of fudge that one. The salary ranges from $67,000 to $89,000 a year. I could probably do this for around 90. Auditions are going to be held on May 15th. So listen, seriously, if you're looking for a gig, pretty cool. You get to hang out with Mrs. Met. You could be the next Mr. Met. It's a pretty iconic gig in sports, right? Harry Potter actor Daniel Radcliffe says he's very sad about author J.K. Rowling's ongoing criticism of the transgender community. Radcliffe tells The Atlantic that nothing in his life had probably happened without Rowling, but added, quote, that doesn't mean you owe the things you truly believe to someone else for your entire life. Rowling has made headlines in recent years for her social media posts as she campaigns against the trans rights movement. Wins News Time, 8:50. Give me 60 seconds. We'll get back out of the roads.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. And here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wins News Time, 8:51. Wednesday morning commute, May the 1st. How's it looking out there, Karen Stewart?
Well, we've got a big delay, a long delay, heading into the RFK Triborough Bridge. We've got delays on Northern Boulevard getting to the Grand Central. The Grand Central westbound delay start at City Field, go up into the airport, go over Randall's Island, and up to the RFK Triborough Bridge. That's one long delay for the RFK. We usually don't suffer through things like that during morning rush hour, but today we've got it. As we check what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, the inbound Queens Midtown Tunnel has the westbound LIE backed up to 58th Street. 59th Street Bridge is not bad. It really isn't. And the inbound Brooklyn Battery Tunnel is slow. The delays on the Gowanus Expressway start at Fort Hamilton Parkway, go up into 20th Street, right in the 20s there, the low 20s, and then it gets heavy. From there, up into Atlantic Avenue. And the westbound Bell Parkway is a very slow ride across Bay Boulevard. Those delays start back at West Merrick Road at exit 24, while the southbound Cross Island Parkway is kind of jammed from the Throgs Neck Bridge down into the LIE. We still have problems on the westbound side of the LIE as you make your way out to Glen Cove Road at 39. There's a crash still there, not cleared yet. The right lane is blocked. LIRR is running on or close to schedule. Our next report's coming up in less than 10 from the Farmer's Dog Traffic Center for human grade dog food delivered right to your door. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
All right, let's get a check of that AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Joe, May the 1st, everybody coming up to me going, it's gonna be May. I can't get away from it.
You can't escape it.
Timberlake must be miserable.
Well, it's going to be a great May day because the sunshine is starting to break through the clouds right now. And now that process has begun, it won't take long before those clouds go completely away. And it gets fairly sunny for the midday and afternoon hours. And with it, it warms too. 74 in the city, but I think it's going to make a run at 80 in the western suburbs. Tonight, partly cloudy early. A few more clouds late at night, though 54. But it turns out partly sunny tomorrow, breezy and even warmer, up to 80. Mid-80s in the Jersey suburbs. Friday, clouds, some sun, cooler, 64, and stays cool Saturday with clouds and maybe an afternoon shower, especially the western suburbs, about 63. Expect some rain on Sunday. Right now in Central Park, some sun poking through the clouds and 57, humidity 83%. The winds are light. Repeating the current temperature, 57, going up to 74 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
All right, thank you, Joe. Shades of Reggie Miller last night at the Garden, where the Knicks came, this close, Mark Ornata, finishing off Philly.
Yeah, Scott, the Knicks were up 6 with under 30 seconds left, but the NBA's most improved player this season put on a show. He completed a 4-point play, then knocked down a game-tying 3-ball from the Knick logo to force overtime. And the 76ers beat Tom Thibodeau's team 112-106.
We got to play tougher with the lead. We fouled in a situation that we didn't want to foul in. And then, the end, Maxey makes a big shot. So, we got to do better.
Maxey finished with 47 points, while Jalen Brunson had 40 in defeat.
We can't hang our heads, and we got to come back stronger and be ready to go and just learn from what we did.
Game 6 tomorrow night in Philly, but the Islanders' season ended with their 6-3 loss at Carolina. Mark Renee, 1010 Wins Sports on 92.3 FM.
Well, a giraffe who died at the Long Island Game Farm in Manorville last fall was malnourished and living in conditions too cold for his species. A report released by the U.S. Department of Agriculture said the 3-year-old giraffe, who was named Bobo, was eating foods that didn't contain enough energy for him to thrive and was kept outdoors during cold rainstorms. Bobo was being monitored by veterinarians for about 2 months before he died. The governor of Illinois has donated a key Civil War document to a local museum.
Donated to the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum in Springfield, Illinois, is a Civil War order signed by Lincoln in which he ordered a blockade of southern ports along the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico in April 1861, putting a chokehold on the Confederacy's export of cotton and import of necessary material. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker noting
Confederate leaders had chosen violence, and President Lincoln understood that it would require immediate military intervention to defeat the insurrection.
the document is on display through next February.
That's Jennifer Kuiper reporting. Governor Pritzker and his wife bought the document at an auction last fall. Wins News Time 8:55. Now this message.
Hi, it's Karen Stewart. Have you tried Farmer's Dog yet? I've got 3 pups, and they were each dealing with different things, like weight gain, lethargy, a dull coat, but not since I started the Farmer's Dog a few months ago, and they love it. They're thriving now. The results have been awesome, and you should try it too. The website's great. You answer a couple of questions, and they send fresh food, portioned just for your dog. The Farmer's Dog is real food made for the health of dogs. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/wins.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Now let's get a check of Bloomberg Money Watch. Here's Steve Potus.
Even as it deals with U.S. government demands its Chinese owners sell the app, TikTok reports more than 500,000 merchants were selling to U.S. users on its app at the end of last year. That's more than double the number from 3 months earlier as the video service steps up its e-commerce effort. Amazon's cloud computing business has things looking up. It has posted the strongest sales growth in a year, a sign that the retailer's most profitable unit is recovering from a slump as businesses resume spending on technology projects, including artificial intelligence services. Still, the company remains guarded about its e-commerce business as consumers spend cautiously. Now, as investors wait for the Fed's interest rate decision later today, S&P futures, they're down about 14 points. NASDAQ in the red 75. Dow futures are now down 50. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Steve Potusk for 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.